Is Ashe, Aho, Amen. Highest will for all, again and again and again and again. Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome back. We are going to get into this full moon in Gemini reading for all signs. Just allowing ourselves to be in the wholeness of oneness of sacred divine light and purification. Clearing the space of any and all energies, entities, beings that is not honoring the highest and greatest good of all involved. Bringing in the spirit of divine truth, of clarity, of love, of harmony, of clarity, of honor. Ooh, and so it is. I forgot to close that. So some of you may resonate with sweetgrass. Calling in our divine ancestors of benevolence and truth and righteous and perfect love and perfect trust. Giving thanks. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone who is coming in. We're going to give it a little bit more time as the notifications go out for people to come in. I'm going to be doing channeled messages, and I'm going to be pulling a card for each zodiac sign. I'm going to be talking about this upcoming new full moon energy, which we are already in, right? But it goes to its peak tomorrow. So today is December 14th. Just bear with me, y'all. The universe is doing its thing. I'm grateful. That was probably meant to just be right there. Okay. Yeah, so let's get into it, all right? If you see me looking down, I'm just going to my notes so that I make sure I don't forget anything that needs to be said, right? And so we're going to start off with, this is the last full moon of the quote-unquote Gregorian calendar year of 2024, right? For those of you who may, go according to your cycle, I say the new year starts during your solar return, which is your birthday. That is your new year. That is your solar return. However, on a collective level, going according to nature, right? Going according to the seasons, right? And so the new year usually traditionally happens spring equinox, okay? But for the sake of sticking to the Gregorian calendar and what we say going into the new year for 2025, this is going to be the last full moon of 2024. And so I invite you to ask yourself, are any cycles closing and or complete from the new moon that happened on June 6th, right? The new moon in Gemini that happened at June 6th of 2024. If you could allow yourself some reflection time, perhaps maybe look back at your journal or your calendar, your schedules, maybe even your Instagram feed, Facebook, YouTube, etc., right? What were you doing during that time? What cycles were opening up for you? And are those cycles complete now? Have you seen the fruition of that cycle? And the reason I'm bringing that up is because we are entering into the full moon in Gemini. And the full moon is the completion of the Gemini cycle, right? The moon in Gemini going through its new moon phase, its waxing phase, its first quarter, second, last quarter, the half moon, etc. until it gets to its full moon state, in which we are now in, right? And so that takes about a 6 month period. And that's why I always tell y'all, pay attention to the last 6 months with this moon cycle. But of course, as energy is moving and flowing, the moon is shifting into many different phases. So you're not at a constant with the moon being in Gemini, but it doesn't take away from something starting at that new moon period. And 6 months later, are you completing that cycle? Is this a cycle that is closing out for you? Is this a cycle that's actually bringing you up to your next level? Or it's reaching its peak? That's for you to reflect on. So I invite you all to ask yourself that question, right? And so this full moon is very interesting as well as exciting, because we do have Mercury in retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius, and we do have the moon in the sign of Gemini doing a conjoining Jupiter, right? And so the sun is in Sagittarius at this time, which its natural ruler is Jupiter. Jupiter is in retrograde in the sign of Gemini, which is its detriment. However, with Jupiter and Mercury both being on the opposite signs, they're like meeting each other in the middle. If you've been paying attention to my daily I don't want to say horoscopes, but the astro weather, right? The astro energies, if you will, when I post them, you would see that I'm constantly talking about the medium, the middle ground, the mutual understanding and understanding that these two planets have with each other being in their detriment right now, right? They're working together to meet themselves in the middle, so that way they're not at their full weakness. They can support each other, right? They're like, hey, I'm in your house, you're in my house. Like, neither one of us really likes to be here. So how can we complement each other by making this work so that it's not a burden to both of us, right? And essentially that's what happens, right? When opposites attract, you find yourself recognizing where your triggers are, where is there any discomforts, what you don't like and what you do like, and you get to practice healthy discernment to learn those lessons, to meet yourself in the middle and actually gain a perspective shift, right? Like, wow, I only perceived it this way because this is where my beliefs were, or my values, or whatever the case may be. That was just my point of view. But now that I'm on the other side, I can, it's like putting the shoe on the other foot, right? And like, wow, I can see where you're coming from now, and then making a decision whether or not that works for you or not. Give me one moment. All right, y'all. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in. And so we're gonna have the moon in Gemini conjoining Jupiter. So this is gonna actually bring in a lot of resources and opportunity, and a little bit of an ease and grace for the energies that been a bit chaotic during this time, the energies that has been very heavy and dense, to allow ourselves to really see the opportunities of the lessons that we have been given day after day after day, especially during this Mercury retrograde. And so the reason I bring up Mercury still in retrograde, right? Mercury being in the sign of Gemini, Mercury also rules over the sign in Gemini. It is still in retrograde during the time of the full moon, but then shortly after, on the same day, it will go station direct. So it's going to bring us a lot more clarity. It's going to bring us a lot more energy to want to move forward. And then with Jupiter, it's like that optimistic energies where maybe it felt really heavy and burdensome and stressful and full of anxiety and worrisome during these last few weeks. I mean, this moon, the full moon in December, is known as the cold moon. We are in the winter season, right? We are getting ready to enter into the winter solstice, right? And so this energy is really allowing for us to look at what it is that we have completed out for this year, and what it is that we could release ourselves from these burdens to allow ourselves to be rejoicing in our optimism, excuse me. All right. And so this full moon is happening December 15, 2024 at 4:01 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I invite you to convert that to your time zone. Okay, and it is happening at 23 degrees of Gemini. Mercury stations direct at 3:56 p.m. All right, at 6 degrees Gemini. And so there's gonna be a lot of opportunity for us to walk with clarity moving forward. I'm pretty sure y'all been getting a lot of clarity day by day with Jupiter retrograde in Gemini, and Gemini retrograde, Mercury's retrograde. There we go, right? Mercury's retrograding in the sign of Sagittarius. I said Gemini. That was me messing up. Mercury rules over Gemini, but Mercury is in the sign of Sagittarius. That's where the sun is, right? The moon is going to be in Gemini. The sun is going to be in Sagittarius. All right. So we have Jupiter and Mercury creating a balance, a medium between logics and faith. Right? Allowing ourselves to really get in tune. Hello, beautiful soul. Greetings, wholeness. And so once Mercury stations retrograde at 3:56, we're still gonna be in the post shadow phase, but there's gonna be a lot more sense of clarity, right? There has been so many lessons that came in, probably people from the past, people in our lives that we're currently like having to leave our lives, and we're like, oh, I thought this person was gonna be moving forward with me, and just the masses being dropped, so that it's a revelation of like, your knowing. You're really going to be tuned in and tapped into your knowing. There's a big emphasis also. I was picking up this channeled message for those of you who like writing, that there's an invitation for you to write a letter to your ancestors. And as you're writing this letter to them, you might actually find like some of your quote unquote future self giving you some channeled messages that's going to help you advance and move forward. Here, I don't know if that's a particular message for anyone specific. If it resonates with you, hey, then take what resonates. If it doesn't, leave it alone. It's okay. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just sharing with you the channel messages that I was receiving at the time of preparing for the collective reading for you all. So hello. Yeah. Let me take a sip of tea for a moment. We're going to get into all signs. Knowing that time is an illusion, Mercury being the planets of communication, Mercury being the planets of travel, of technology, right? We have the ability to travel through multiple timelines simultaneously. And when we allow ourselves to break beyond the limitations of our mind, of our brain, of our thought processes, we have a perfect love and a perfect trust to be travel with faith into different timelines, right? And so that's the medium of Mercury and Jupiter, right? Because Jupiter is going to be conjoined this full moon. There is that sense of clarity or nudge to say, listen, it's been rough in this area in your life here, and you may have gotten a little bit too logical in this space, and it's, you know, perhaps created some control issues or something like that that is hindering your growth, and it's time for you to expand. It's time for you to allow yourself to regain faith with your highest consciousness, or with the Most High, right? And then there's gonna, for some of you, maybe you're operating too much on faith and not enough on like certain logics, and there's gonna be that middle ground of like, listen, this is not all about just lucky syndrome. Like, actually being able to put in the work is gonna get you into the certain places that you may need. So Jupiter is gonna provide the resources for you and open the way so that those opportunities are available for you, and Mercury is gonna be giving you the logics and the statistics of how you can make this happen. And so, yes, they are in their detriment. Yes, they are retrograde. And, you know, some people make it seem like this is the most scariest transits to happen. But because they're in each other's house, they're like, hey, like, I need you to be able to do this for me while you're at my house, and what is it that you need me to do at your house? And they'll, you know, it's like looking out for each other, right? So that's, you know, one way of looking at it. And so with that, as you're gaining clarity, you know, take it step by step. If you're getting precise direction, honor that. Honor the directions and what it is that they're giving you at this time, because even if it doesn't seem to make logical sense at the time, it is something that's going to be very fortunate and expansive for your life in abundance, right? In good fortune and benevolence, right? Mercury, you know, in Gemini, it's not malefic, it's not benevolent, in my opinion, right? I'm speaking to y'all not just from a space of like science, but also from my inner connections with these planets and knowingness, right? And so again, honoring your knowing, right? Where science may not say or be agreeable to what it is that your soul is telling you what is, right? And then later in life, you just find like, oh, you know, to me, it's very neutral. Mercury is very neutral. That's why Mercury's the messenger, right? It's unbiased to either side. It's able to see the truth in all things. It's able to see the rights and the wrongs and this and that, but also be unbiased to it, so that everybody can thrive in unconditional love, because that is the only law of love, is that it's unconditional. It is us that creates the conditions, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? We learn these lessons for a reason of conditionings. So anyways, let's get into it, y'all. Just gonna be moving to the houses here. So let's get the cards here. How's everyone doing? Let me know where you are tapping in from, tuning in from. If you are watching and you have not said hello, you better act like your mama taught you some manners. And if she did not, here is your time and opportunity to get a lesson of manners real quick, right? When you come into somebody's space, it is polite to actually greet everyone in this space. You are coming into my space. I welcome you in divine love and fruitfulness and joy, as long as you honor this space, right? And so greeting when you're coming into space is something that really can take you a long way. So just putting that out there, whether you're watching the replay or you're here live. So Aries, this energy is happening in your third house. Woo, Aries. All right, y'all. Was there a book or an idea or something that you were talking about, you were thinking about, you were wanting to embrace back in June, June 6th? Remember, for those of you that are watching, if you just jumped into your zodiac sign, I invite you to listen to the overall. And so because this is a full moon, there's some sort of completion there, right? There's some form of communication or news or something that came in that perhaps is now closing out its cycle to you, or expanding this into a next level. So you're closing out one level of this cycle and you're now entering into a next level of this cycle. So for example, perhaps around June, you were guided to create a book, to write a book or something like that, right? And you started the process. Maybe during this full moon, you either complete the book in totality, right? And like maybe you're getting downloads for like a second book, or you're just like, okay, that's done. Like, wow, I finished the book. I actually did it, right? And like that's completing that cycle. But for some of you, it could be as simple as you have been working on the book. Maybe you took a little time off and then you found yourself during like Mercury retrograde. You found yourself like tapping in and writing into this book again, and you complete a chapter, and once you finish that chapter, you're on to the next chapter, right? And so that's the next level, right? Like you completed one chapter and you on to the next chapter. That could be another way of how that looks for you. This could also be some form of local travel or opportunities that present itself for you. Perhaps maybe there's some sort of opportunity or networking experience or gathering, something that is going to bring some form of expansion for you to travel to. That is that a place that you haven't been or something like that. Or it closes out your curiosity, but expands your mind with the experience of, right, traveling to this new place. Right. Also, this could be perhaps maybe there's some sort of news or communication that happens with like a sibling, an aunt, an uncle. Perhaps there's some changes that, you know, a major cycle or major change that closes out for like a neighbor of yours. So like maybe you move locations to another neighborhood, or you have a neighbor that moves out that you would like close to and you consider them like a good friend or something like that. This could also be taking on like some sort of study or finishing up, you know, some classes, maybe a course. Maybe you find yourself, getting some sort of certificate, right? Maybe you went through some sort of studying of something, and that cycle is like closing out, and you gain the informations, the lessons from that, and you take it to the next level. Because it's a full moon, the full moon embodies all moon cycles. It is not just the ending of something. It is the peak of all things at the same time. It is full transformation at Aries. And like, although I didn't say that and the overall for all signs, you know, those of you who are watching live, you get to hear it, right? But Aries, you know, the communication, there's going to be so much more clarity for you. If you've been having a hard time concentrating on reading or writing or some sort of communication, maybe there's something that you've been wanting to talk about and you haven't felt like it was the time. And then during this full moon, you're like, you know what? I'm really glad that I'm, you know, opening up to communicate XYZ, or you get the news or the time frame, or you start organizing during that time. There may be some news that you don't necessarily like pertaining to, like, I'm saying that you don't like, but you may be indifferent to it. But it could just be some news from a sibling or something like that that seems made a little bit difficult or something like that, and you making a decision whether or not to travel those realms with your sibling or your aunt or something like that. It could be a little disruptive, but it could also be making the decision to not personalize things. All right, let's see here. What information? Give us a card for Aries. Aries rising. And those of you that are watching live, I'm going to ask you to listen for your sun, your moon, your rising sign. And those of you that's watching the replay, that's your invitation also. So Aries, thank you. I'm going to take the first one here. So we have the Ten of Pentacles. I feel like there is a closing out of some sort of generational cycle or karmic contract here. Because the third house is the house of communication. Also, this could be contracts also. So there could be some sort of contract that's closing out to bring in generational wealth here. Maybe, you know, maybe you affirm or command or vocalize some sort of detachment from any generational inheritance that is not serving your highest and greatest good, and you release those cycles and you're calling generational wealth. That could be one way that this transpires for you. This could also be just some sort of money transfer or wealth transfer coming in, that, you know, it is bringing a completion of a cycle. But this is, I feel like this is something that's going on. This could be a family gathering also. Maybe some of you Aries are traveling to a wedding or something, or a family event, right? This is also during the holidays, so it is very possible, because I forget that, you know, certain holidays happen during this time. It is very likely that this could be, you know, that you experience some sort of news and excitement and DNA upgrades while you're spending time with family or just honoring your family. And for those of you that are watching, I did mention getting a download about writing a letter to your ancestors, that it was going to bring some activations, and even has the potential of traveling through some realms. And the third house is of travel as well. So Aries, this could be some sort of settlement also, or something that goes on with your vehicle. Maybe there's going to be a change of vehicle. Maybe there's going to be an investment to a new vehicle. This can be, you know, on the shadow side, could be like an accident or something like that happens, right? But something that I really feel like this is like a blessing in disguise, or some sort of traveling in a way that's going to bring you into a space of DNA upgrades and harmony. So Aries, that is your reading. We're going to move forward to Taurus. Taurus, this energy is happening in your second house. Okay, so the second house is the house of money. It's of values. This is the house of, when it comes down to money, this is money that you work for, money that you earn, money that the time and efforts that you put into things, right? And because Jupiter is going to be conjoined the moon, this has a lot of potential for resources or money opportunities to come in for you, where they may have felt stuck or stagnant, or perhaps you felt like things weren't really moving forward too much with it. Now, I'm not necessarily seeing you starting something new, but this could be a potential career shift, okay? This could be reevaluating your finances. This could be even you know, getting into financial literacy, or putting in some investments at this time, or your investments paying you back, for you to you know, to assist you in some way, shape, or form at this time. So really taking a look at how your financial investments are at this time. This is a great invitation to really look at what were you investing in of June of 2024, right? And have your investments bring you a ROI, right? A return of investment and return in interest even, right? Are you seeing how these investments to yourself are actually allowing for you to expand and grow in your life? Also, to be patient with what it is that you are investing in, or just to be mindful. Some of you, this could just be you know, your habits or values shifting, right? Your habits changing because your values are now changing. You don't feel like the same things that was supporting you at the time, you know, back then is something that's supporting you now, because your value for that type of energy is no longer in the same frequency, and you're allowed to change here, okay? This could also be changing your wardrobe here. This could be changing your look. Whatever it may have you, this is going to look different for everyone. Remember, this is a general overview for your sign, Taurus. And so there could even be some changes here. Maybe there was like a food allergy or something that you came about. You know, you're eating. Maybe you were wanting to make a decision. You were changing, like, you know, I think I want to change my eating or something like that. And, you find yourself like making the decision and closing out that old chapter. Like, you know what? Yeah, you know, maybe, for example, maybe some of you want to go plant-based, right? You've been eating meat your whole life and you've been thinking about it and you've been like swaying back and forth. But this full moon gets you into the space where you're like, you know what? I'm going to make the decision and I'm going to like make this change, right? And so you change because your values change, or your self-love, your self-care, those type of rituals, energies has shifted for you. This is also your invitation to do a self-love ritual, right? Maybe light a candle for yourself, give thanks to yourself, do a gratitude prayer. All right, talking about the body, yes, we have the Emperor here in the second house. So again, Taurus, because the Emperor is coming out, some of you could be entrepreneurs and there could be a shift in your finances. There could be, maybe there were certain control issues or certain things that you were being stubborn on that's going to be revealed to you at this time. That's going to get you into a space of more financial freedom and liberty because you're putting in the work and you're stepping out of your stubbornness is what I'm getting. Maybe releasing some control issues of some sort and actually allowing yourself to be divinely aligned and guided so that you are able to be fruitful in that leadership position. Some of you could be getting a promotion at this time. So you're closing out one chapter into the next chapter in a sense that, you know, you was working one position and now you got this promotion. So it seems like it's starting something new. But again, with one closed door, many doors open up as well. So this is definitely stepping into the road of a leadership here, making those financial shifts, like I said here, and really getting into self-love. And again, if you're watching the replay, I invite you to listen to the overview message for all signs, as there's going to be more information for you. So we're going to move on to the sign of Gemini. This is for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising. I recommend that everybody listen to the sign of Gemini because this full moon is happening in the sign of Gemini. And again, I didn't actually get to say that in the beginning of the live, and I wish I did, but those of you that's watching the replay, you get to hear me rant, right? I love y'all. All right, and those of you that are watching live, right, you get this information. So Gemini, this energy is happening in your first house. This is going to massively impact you, Geminis. I mean, this energy is happening in your sign. So of course it's going to impact you. There's going to be a lot of change, especially with Mercury going, stationing direct later on in the afternoon, later on in the day. You're going to receive so much more clarity where there was some confusion, maybe where there was like a little bit of chaos. You're going to feel a little bit more like centered and groundingness into this space. I do still invite you all to listen to the Jupiter in retrograde readings that I did as well, to kind of get an overview, overall view of how this has the full potential to still influence you, because the moon is still, Jupiter is still going to be retrograde in your sign. And so that is definitely important. But again, for this full moon, was there a cycle or something that started back in June that you find yourself bringing to a space of completion, or that you're being invited to release? These are questions that you can ask yourself at this time, because again, with the full moon happening in your sign, that means not only is it at its peak and it's at its strongest of currency of energy, but it had to go through every single cycle in your sign. And that cycle started at June 6th when the new moon happened in your sign. Okay, so Gemini, definitely there's going to be certain changes to your body image. Maybe your confidence even shifts at this time. Maybe you find yourself wanting a little bit more rest or, restoration. This is the cold moon and we are getting into the winter season. So you might find yourself wanting to get a little bit of rest and then feeling recharged, rejuvenated, and okay, y'all, it's go time. And just this may even be some sort of changes to your body. For some of you, this could be healing some body wounds. Even maybe something happened to you in the last few months that you had an injury from or something like that. You actually find yourself healing from this space. Although, this is not the 12th house energy, this is first house. And I know that some of the stuff that I'm saying sounds like that because we are in the cold winter season. But this is about really getting self-conscious here. Really getting to the space of being aware of what messages your body is telling you, right? Not just thinking about it logically and analyzing it, but feeling it all the way through. So feeling what your body is saying and then coming to the space of being conscious, self-conscious of what your body is saying to you. So definitely listening to your body at this time is going to be a great messenger. And lots of shifts here. If your body is wanting to get more exercise or get more rest, that's going to be important for you. Your body is going to be talking to you at this time. All right. This could also be changing your appearance. Maybe you're feeling like, I want to cut my hair or something like that. And you make that change to this could also be like cord cutting even. This could also be your reputation. Maybe there was certain ideas or promises that you needed to fulfill. Did you fulfill your promises? Did you, the words that you gave, were they honorable? Were they actually, were you telling the truth? Did you complete all the things that you said you wanted to start doing, right? These are some of your reminders of what this moon wants to reflect onto you. So let's see here what other messages come through for the first house. This could also be how you want people to portray yourself. So, maybe you, especially with Jupiter there, you could be there could have been the potential of, what is that word? Thank you. It's over promising and under delivering, or and it's better to under promise and over deliver sometimes, is kind of what I'm getting. But there is some sort of opportunities that's going to be coming in here with the Knights of Pentacles, and you needing to take things really slow here. There could have been a Tower moment or some stuff that happened within the last 6 months here that was creating a major shift in your life that is making you really view yourself in the mirror as a different type of individual. And so come this full moon and you're reflecting, you're like, wow, I really did change within the last 6 months. I feel so much lighter. I'm able to accomplish more and keep my words and fulfill my promises, even if it's equal or more, right? So those are some of the things that may come up for you during this time, Gemini, and I love that for you. There's a lot about how you view yourself and how you want others to view you, in a sense where it's more authentic and is dropping the mask. So we're going to move forward onto the sign of Cancer. Cancer, this energy is happening in your 12th house, right? And so Cancers, y'all can be emotional creatures, but again, this is for your sun, your moon, or your rising sign. And I do invite you all that if you have just clicked onto your sign, that you listen to the overview message for all signs that I channeled before. But Cancers, with this energy happening in the 12th house, This could be, you know, perhaps there was something that you went to the hospital with for about 6 months ago and you're healing from. Maybe you get called to go to the hospital now. Maybe something happens that, you know, you felt blindsided or you couldn't see, or there was some sort of like hidden enemy. I feel like there's going to be a revelation, maybe some secrets being revealed onto you about somebody that you felt close to you or something like that, or you discovering some even deeper inner secret within your own DNA, within you and your psyche, right? This is really about reprogramming your mind and how you communicate with that. But there's also a reminder of Cancer. Is there something that you started and you didn't finish? Are you self-sabotaging? How have you been self-sabotaging? And really taking a look at that. Remember, because this energy invites you to look back of June 6th of 2024, there may have been some subconscious patterns that you either have developed that from a trauma response or some sort of situation or something like that that felt like a burden, that felt difficult, that felt challenging. Even maybe there were some changes that you were growing through, and now you've come to realize, wow, I was really getting in my own way. These patterns, these habits were really like self-sabotaging. I wasn't really taking accountability for myself. I was emotionally reactive as opposed to really allowing myself to emotionally regulate through emotional intelligence and allow myself to feel it all the way through. Because the 12th house is subconscious mind, you want to feel it. You have to feel it to heal it, right? And so not over analyzing. And this could be also a lot of active messages in your dream realm, so paying attention to your dreams. There could be your card is the 5 of Wands here, so there could be some secret competition or something. Maybe there was even some form of imposter syndrome that you was subconsciously tapping into, or something that maybe somebody was being competitive with you and you weren't even aware of it, or something like that, or some sort of information, a hater or something like that that comes out to the forefront that was revealed, but it's not direct, right? It's like it's revealed to you through the subconscious subliminal messages or something like that. And so pay attention to your subliminal messages, Cancer. All right. We're going to move forward on to Leo. Leo, this energy is happening in your 11th house. So if you are listening, this is for your sun, your moon, or your rising sign. And I invite you to listen to the beginning of the video where you get a full overview for all 12 signs here. Leo, this energy is going to be a lot more benefic for you, or exciting, or even feeling liberating. Even there's a lot of angelic support with this being in the 11th house. The 11th house is connected to your angelic counsel, your angels, your guardians, right? This is also social network, right? And so this is a great time for you to cut any cords that's not serving you. This is a great time for you to really complete the cycle of those fake friends, or even communicate or reach out to friends. Maybe there was some sort of unfinished business or something like that when it comes down to friends or something like that, and you're being invited to communicate with these people and close out those cycles. Maybe it's a complete closure. Maybe it's just a closure of a misunderstanding or something like that. That's one way how this energy can happen. Again, I invite you to look back to June of 2024. Was there something that you started? If this has to do with like career or something that you just been really wanting to invest your time and energy into, now the resources could be rushing in for you at this time, and that could help you complete from one cycle into another, Leo, in a sense where like you may be able to connect and build with those that are in alignment with those goals that you were putting in, right? And so closing out the cycle of not being able to be tapped into the resources, right? So this looks different for everyone, but Leo, I really like this energy for you. It's very attractive. It's very luminescent here, and there are a lot more meaningful, healthy connections with this cycle here for you. And so really taking advantage and allowing yourself to connect with that and receive that, right? Again, you have angelic support with this energy. And there's also like allowing yourself to communicate with others. You know, maybe you have felt really the effects of Jupiter in retrograde energy, and so because this full moon is going to be conjoined Jupiter, I invite you to listen to the video that I posted with Jupiter in retrograde. Listen for your sign as well as to how this also has the potential to influence you. But however, Mercury is going direct, all right, later on in the day. So at the time of the full moon, Mercury is still going to be retrograde, but it'll be stationed direct later in the afternoon. So this is going to bring in a lot of resources. This is going to bring in the communication to start flowing through, all right? And then you have the Queen of Rods here, and like I said, this energy is very attractive here. You might find yourself surrounding yourself with friends. You might find yourself just feeling a little bit more flirty even, or just communicating, allowing yourself to be in your magic, right? Tapping into those resources that's coming to you. I really like this energy for you, Leo. All right. Again, what cycles is it that you needed to close? What cycles are you? This could be even things with the environment, right? So for some of you, you know, maybe there was things that you had some ideas of how you wanted to help clean the environment around you, and you were just like maybe a little bit hesitant or didn't know how, and you come across like the information and the resources of how you can help be more supportive to the cosmic ascension or collective ascension. This energy is going to be very telepathic for you as well, Leo, and you may already be telepathic because y'all are very in tune with the awakening, right? Awakening energies. And with this energy happening in the 11th house, the 11th house natural ruler is Aquarius, and there's going to be a lot of transformation here, especially with Pluto and Aquarius in there. But nonetheless, this is telepathy amongst hearts, telepathies amongst your friends, and really conversing and connecting with your friends, closing out any animosity, or if there's anything that needs to be reconciled, even whether it's with friends or just your social network, this is your opportunity to do that. And I love this energy for y'all. Okay, Leo, that's your reading. We're gonna move forward to Virgo. Virgo, this energy is happening in your 10th house. Whoo, Virgo. Okay, there's a lot here, right? The 10th house is your reputation, it's your career, it's long-term contracts, right? It's generational. All right. If you are watching, this is for your sun, your moon, or your rising. And I do invite you to go back and listen to the beginning as well for an overview of this energy. Okay, Virgo. So going back to your reputation, there may have been something that you started back in June of 2024, and you really wanted to put in the efforts and the energies when it comes down to this project, or it could be a career change, something that, thank you. You may have been finding yourself contemplating if you wanted a career shift, or if you were thinking about implementing a new, some sort of new project, something that has to do with your reputation here. There's going to be a lot of clarity where it comes down to what your patterns have been when it comes down to how you putting in the work, your work environment here. There's gonna be either, this could be closing out a cycle with your work, so either leaving a job and going to another job. Maybe you were let go in the summer and you find yourself like it was difficult to find a job, or maybe you wasn't really looking for a job, and then you find yourself now like, you know what, I think it is time for me to start getting a job. Or if it was difficult for you to get a job earlier in the year, you might find that cycle clears out and that the resources come, and now you're getting called for like interviews or something like that, right? And keep in mind, we are in the winter season, so this may not be a lot of like starting fresh for a lot of you, but this is closing out any resistance when it comes down to your career, right? Anything that is troubling when it comes down to your long-term contracts. These things are going to really, it's still going to be intense, and keep in mind that although this is the last full moon of the year for you, we do have the lunar nodes that are going to be changing into your sign, and you will, Virgo is going to be in the south node. So this energy is very much going to feel like the universe is kind of like picking at you. So any lies that you may have told or that others are telling, like anything that has to do with your personal reputation is going to come to the forefront. And this could be for you to really reflect on how honest you have been with your authenticity, how honest you have been with your reputation, and how you put yourself out there for others to see you. All right. Have you been faking the funk, or have you been keeping it real? These are the types of things that's going to show out for you during this full moon. So if you've been lying, manipulative, or just a little even like sly or sneaky and stuff like that, that energy is going to show out. If you've been controlling, that energy is going to show out. So it's going to be a revelation, a revealing of your reputation and how people view you according to your habits. This is also long-term contracts, right? Or even generational wealth and generational contracts here. And so there could be a closing out of a contract. Maybe some of you have been wanting to get some land and you put in some investments in some land or something like that, and you're now closing out that contract, right? And getting the house or something like that. There could be something in regards to that as well. This could also be ending generational traumas, right? And not letting it move forward with you because you're like, I don't really want to be represented in this way anymore. Maybe everyone in my family was a doctor, but I want to be a singer or something like that. And so you close the cycle of being perceived with that type of reputation that everybody in your family is a doctor, and you allow yourself to release those cords and be a singer, right? This is different for everyone. This could even be like, maybe you were into like a certain religion, or you had certain abandonment issues or neglect or something like that, and you had been living a lifestyle that was reflecting your traumas in that, and you find yourself like that's the reputation that the world has for you, is like, oh, that guy or that girl is a player and this, that, and the third. Maybe that's the type, or they're a liar or something, right? And you have that type of reputation, and you find yourself like really going within and seeing like, okay, because you want to still pay attention to how Jupiter's retrograde is going to be impacting you, definitely take a look at that video that I did for Jupiter's retrograde to see how this is impacting you. But this could be a shift in that, and you're saying, you know what, I no longer want to be viewed as that individual, right? And so closing out that cycle. This could also be closing out any gossip. If there was some, let's say you're in the work field and there was some gossip and somebody's trying to, defamation of character or something like that, and you put that to a close. You're like, I have rights, and that's defamation of character. And if you're going to continue on spilling gossip or false information about me, then I'm going to pursue litigations or something like that. And they're like, holy cow, oh shoot. So you put an end to certain situations, right? In that. So take it with a grain of salt. You know what messages are for you. Your card is, and it came out in reverse, but I'm putting it upright, is the King of Elixirs. So King of Waters, King of Chalice, right? So the emotions, this again, because it was in reverse and I'm putting it upright, this could be that there was a lot of emotional manipulation, or there is some sort of emotional distress, like something emotional that you were either trying to repress or suppress, or that was hindering you, that wasn't allowing for you to really be fully tapped into your true representation of source, right? Your true of who you are, the reputation that you have with source versus the reputation you have with man, woman, humans, whatever, is not going to be in the same caliber. And you feeling that reflection within, and there could have been an emotional dissatisfaction, and the closing out to any of those cycles that is not stimulating you with deep, pure, unconditional love from source for you to be able to navigate forward to. So perhaps you do, maybe there's a marriage or a long-term relationship or something, a soul contract even, that you put to an end, so you could allow yourself to fulfill your cup again, and allow yourself to be seen with the reputation that truly honors your divinity, Virgo. All right, there's so much more to dive into, Virgo. I really hope that this serves you. There could be some sort of love opportunity, again, because this is not about really starting something new. This is more about what are you completing and closing out with this energy. It's to really take a look at that. If you start something new, you're not starting it from a space of lack or from a space of attention seeking or emotional fulfillment from outside sources, but rather from within. This is about really putting in the work for generational wealth, really putting in the work to feel the energetic currency thriving within you from your ancestry here. All right. There could have been something that was trying to be passed down from your lineage, right? From generation to generation. I would say listen to the beginning of this too. Maybe it's time to pour some ancestor libations or something like that. I'm kind of getting a lot of ancestral energy here, trying to support you through some emotional hardships that may be going on, that was really preventing you from really stepping into your true self. That and so you weren't putting in the work, or you were giving these excuses as to why you weren't putting in work. Whatever the case is, there's a change, a need to change your pace of how you've been doing certain things for work, and your reputation here. And mastering your emotions. You had to go through certain lessons to master your emotions so you could actually put in the work that is called for you to put in with this in the 10th house. So Virgo, that is your message. We are going to move forward to Libra. Oh, nothing without the love of us. Yes. Thank you. So I will pin that. Thank you. We're gonna move forward to Libra. This is for your sun, moon, and rising. Give me just one moment. For those of you that would like to send a donation, I'm 100% grateful and thankful, and I send that energy back to you infinitely folded, so it can continue to thrive, not only in your life but in all the lives that you get to touch. Okay, so moving forward, Libra, this energy is happening in your 9th house. This is for Libra, sun, moon, or rising. I invite you that if you have just clicked on your zodiac sign and you didn't listen to the beginning of this live, that you do listen to it for an overview of all signs and how this energy could affect you. But let's move forward. So Libra, with this energy in the 9th house, the 9th house is with Jupiter energy. Give me just a moment. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't pin it. There we go. Okay, so Libra, with this energy in the ninth house is traditionally ruled by, with Jupiter, is ruled with Sagittarian energy. And we do have the sun is Sagittarius, and we have Jupiter in retrograde in the sign of Gemini. This full moon is happening in the sign of Gemini. Mercury is in the sign of Sagittarius, and it is going to be retrograde still at the time, at the peak of the full moon, but it will be stationed direct later on in that afternoon. So this energy has a great potential to bring you a lot of clarity when it comes down to your spiritual views, when it comes down to traveling abroad. Maybe you don't travel abroad right then and there, but you close out the cycle of maybe you put it on your schedule, or you pay for a ticket or something like that, and you travel later on. Or maybe you do travel for this full moon. You find yourself traveling to another country, and maybe you're traveling to another country to study something, right? That's another way that this energy can show out for you, Libra. I really like this energy. It's just so filled with so much opportunities and optimism here. There was so much energies that maybe you felt a little bit of hindrance, or you felt a little stuck even. But there's something here about really expanding your mind, expanding your consciousness, your aura, your energy, traveling into the depths of new realms, into new spaces, into again, traveling to another country. This could be learning another language, or maybe you were taking up some sort of studies or something that was from another culture, or another language, and you find yourself completing something, right? Maybe you're in school and you find yourself completing completing that semester, or completing the whole year, or something like that, right? This is going to look different for everyone, but this is higher level conversations. This is more scholarly information. This is more alchemist energy, even marriage. So Libra, you may find yourself finding somebody from abroad that you're gonna end up marrying, or something like that. Hey, I'm just a messenger. I'm just channeling also. So it may not be that for everybody, but there is a shift in regards to even the information of how it's going to be brought forth to you here. This could be some form of journalism. Maybe you're into journalism and you take up some studies here, or you just finish studying something and you're going to be sharing that with the collective in a little bit. Right? Yeah, see, you have the Two of Cups here. So I really like this energy here. There's a lot of harmony that's coming in, a lot of healthy, meaningful connections, even partnerships, collaborations going on here with you, Libra. A lot of celebrations. I would say that if there was like a marriage or something, maybe you find yourself going on a honeymoon, or coming back from a honeymoon and closing out that cycle. This could also be just really doing some sort of rites of passage and initiation, or something like that, when it comes down to your spiritual practices here. Or learning some sort of like healing modality or something like that, Libra. That's kind of the energy that I'm getting for you. I really do like how the partnership energy is coming through, though, when it comes down to this, because this also says that you could be going to a retreat in another company, maybe for a company in another country, that's gonna bring you to some sort of internal marriage with self and of the energy of that culture. This could be a spiritual activation. So maybe, I don't know, maybe some of you traveled to like Costa Rica or something, and you didn't know you were gonna get this like big DNA upgrade or something like that, and you just connect so deep with like the water or something like that, and you get a spiritual epiphany and energy, and just like maybe you decide, I think I want to move to this country, or and you start like closing out the contracts of you living in the States or something like that. Whatever it may be, it's going to be different for everyone, okay? Now, this could also just be that, like, you went on a honeymoon and, you know, you come back home. This could be, though, that when it comes down to the rites of passage, maybe you are studying to be a priest, a high priestess, or a yogi, or some sort of, like, religious kind of practice or something like that, whether Abrahamic or non-Abrahamic. This could even be shifting your spiritual views from Abrahamic to non-Abrahamic, something like that. Getting into some sorts of rites of passage in which you complete one cycle and you enter into the new realm. This could also be a graduation of some sort. So I really like this energy for you, and it's really coming into a space of harmonizing your feminine and masculine energies. All right, y'all. So Libra, that is your energy. We're going to move forward to Scorpio. Scorpio, this energy is happening in your 8th house. Whoo, we're going to take a sip real quick, y'all. So, Scorpio, this energy is happening in your 8th house. This is for your sun, moon, and rising. Or rising. If you are just tapping onto Scorpio and you did not listen to the beginning of this video, I invite you to listen to the beginning so you could get a full overview of this energy. All right, because this energy is also conjoining Jupiter, I do invite you to listen to the Jupiter video, the Jupiter retrograde video that I did also a few weeks ago, so you could get more information. But the beautiful side of this is that with Mercury going station direct later in the afternoon, this is going to bring a lot of clarity to any fears that may have been holding you back, anything that is preventing you from or that was preventing you from actually, like, making the transformations that you needed to make, right? Because this is your 8th house, this is the house of secrets, this is the house of occultism, this is the house of fears, of bondage, of other people's resources, right? This is the energy of death and transformation, right? And so definitely look back at what was going on of June of 2024, and are you closing out a cycle, or have you completed a cycle that started around that time? Really take note of that. Do that deep reflection into this space, there's going to be a lot of shadow integration and even light ascension and DNA upgrade codes that's going to happen for you getting to the next level of your soul's transformation. There's also going to be a lot of resources that open up for you, especially with this being the 8th house. The 8th house is also taxes and resources and other people's money. So you might find yourself having to close out some cycles when it comes down to your taxes, or when it comes down to like a loan or something. Maybe you clear out some debt or something like that, right? There might be that type of energy that you start clearing out. And as you clear it out, it like maybe brings up your credit or something like that, right? This is also because it's other people's money and stuff like that. You might find yourself getting a loan, or people asking, if because it's a closing out of a cycle, maybe somebody owed you money and they pay it back, they pay you back in full or something like that. This could also be people just wanting to give you money, people wanting to share their resources with you here. All right. This is also going to be an amplification of whatever magic you decide to do during this full moon, and really being mindful of it, because Jupiter is still the planet of cosmic justice. Okay. And so there is a thing of like making sure you're not operating from a space of trauma or fear or bondages. And so if there is something like that that's coming up, the invitation could be to do some cord cutting and releasing of these fears, of these bondages, of any type of like control or something like that, to liberate yourself from these things, so that way you aren't necessarily reacting emotionally reactive in that realm, because do as thy will but harm none, right? And so if you choose to you do whatever you want to do, There's going to be people that they do operate in the shadow sides of their magic and their power and stuff like that. And because Jupiter is still in the mix, and that's cosmic justice here, there is going to be some sort of energy that comes back with that. And so this could be you seeing the repercussions of that, or something of the sorts. But if it's that you've been doing magic with like integrity and honoring your free will, and like, you know, you're not necessarily doing it to harm anyone, but just more so to focus on your evolution and your growth and whatnot, then there's going to be a lot of resources and opportunities that's going to come in and share with you. And I really like that energy. If there's any hidden enemies or something like that, I do feel like there's going to be some secrets that's revealed to you at this time as well, Scorpio. And I like this energy for you. This is like, Scorpio, jump in your bag, get in your bag, really allow yourself to remember to call your power back. Remember to get back into your energy and your magic. Find the magic in the mundane stuff also here. There's so much cards coming out. Yeah, so I'm going to take this one here. So this is the Ace of Wands here, all right? Because this is the 8th house, you might find yourself, this is also like inheritance even. So there could be some sort of like will or contract or something like that comes up for you. This could be, you know, doing some sort of like paperwork when it comes down to this could also be a wand. This could also be a relationship. This could be a masculine mentor or something like that, right? Because in the 8th house, with it being, and I should have said this for the 9th house, to be honest, like a spiritual mentor or something like that, but it's, here we are, we're saying it now, right? So in the 8th house, this could also be a rebirth here. Maybe really honoring your passions here. What is really sparking the way, planting the seeds. So are you coming, did you plant a seed back in June and it's coming to fruition? Here, this is really allowing yourself to be in your magic, like I said, and really regaining your confidence back. If some of you felt like your confidence was low or something like that, Scorpio. So if there is there could also be like maybe you're using magic to navigate through, having to clear through certain energetic debt or something like that even, right? And so you know, take the messages that resonate, leave the rest behind. Sagittarius, we're going to move forward to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, sun, moon, rising. If you are just tapping into your sign, I invite you to listen to the beginning of this video to get an overview, and also to listen to Gemini's reading, as this is going to impact both your signs, as we do have Jupiter in the sign of Gemini in retrograde, conjoining this moon, and we have Mercury in your sign of Sagittarius, okay? That is retrograde during the time of this full moon, but will station direct later on in the afternoon. And so this energy is going to be so potent to do forward movement, any cord cutting, any cleansings, any removals, forms of communication is going to gain a lot of clarity. You're going to be able to express yourself more consciously, or even in a space where it's harmonizing. The 7th house is the house of marriage, okay? It's the house of your partnerships, your spouse even, your significant other. This is the house of contracts, as well as inheritance, right? I believe it's the house of inheritance too. I'll read that card in just a moment. So with the 7th house, with this energy here, Sagittarius, you could have found yourself maybe going from single to being in a relationship. You could have found yourself from being in a relationship to getting married. You could have found yourself really seeing major closing out of cycles. So cord cutting, if there was any energies that was holding you back from your relationships, from really be honoring that, like your soul's union, right? Your union with your feminine and masculine energies. You're gonna really, this is an invitation to close out those cycles, to clear those cords, to really allow yourself to embrace the new that's ahead with this journey here. Because this is a cold moon, I do also invite y'all to, allow yourself to embrace if your relationship is just calling you to like hibernate together or just like calm down. This is not necessarily always starting something new at this time. This could be reevaluating certain contracts, right? For some of you Sagittarius, I have to be honest, this could even be a divorce for some of you, right? And having to allow yourself to go through the healing process as you go through this. Whatever happened of June of 2024, really ask yourself, did you close out these cycles? Are you doing the cord cutting for this? Here we have the 9 of Pentacles. So this is a personal journey, even though there's this is also with the 7th house. Like I mentioned, some of you may have gotten divorced or something like that, or some sort of separation, and there's some sort of abundance and prosperity that's coming in for you to allow yourself to embrace with this new path, with this new journey. Now, I'm not saying this is everybody's getting a divorce, and that you all, need to be single to get these blessings from the universe. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that there could be some blessings or resources or money opportunities and stuff that come through. And because this is the 7th house, this could be that maybe your partner gets a promotion, or you get a promotion and you got to help your partner out or something like that. There's something about the union working together with this energy to close out certain cycles, to close out that energetic debris that's not serving y'all anymore. All right. This could also be, like I mentioned, some of you single and getting into a relationship and thinking really long term. What is it that you want to invest in? The 7th house is also investments, right? So I mentioned in the beginning of the video, like there's going to be certain investments that's going to want to pay itself forward here. So there could be some unexpected money coming in from your partner or for your partner here. Also some investments that are fruitful. So really, what are you paying attention to? What are you investing in? Sagittarius, that is your reading for now. We're going to move forward to Capricorn. Capricorn, this energy is happening in your 6th house. This is your daily routines. This is healings. This is pets. This is your day-to-day routines, habits. This is your work even. All right. Is there something that you started of June of 2024 that came into a complete cycle, something that you may have put in writing or something like that, that you're gonna allow yourself to get to the next level with? Is there some sort of healing? Did something happen? Did you have to cut some cords? Is there something that created a shift when it comes down to maybe your pets, your familiars, maybe there's certain things with your co-workers or those that you connect with on a day-to-day. Are you changing your daily routine? Are you changing your habits? Do you find yourself, really completing a cycle and moving and navigating into a different set of patterns, a different set of taking your time to go within, to heal, to hibernate even if you need to, right? Because this is also the hermit energy. For some of you during this full moon, you may get some news, going to the hospital or something with a pet or something like that. Definitely, like I said, whether this is your sun, your moon, or your rising, listen to the overall message, but know that there's going to be some clarity. So if there was a part that was really hurting you, whatever was hurting you, whether it was financial pains, heartbreak, relationships, you know, working with others or something like that. And all these things were like painful or stressful. I do see you releasing yourself from these burdens and actually developing new patterns that's going to bring you to a space of liberation, but you're going through the healing process at this time. This could also be that perhaps you are a healer, or maybe you're a nurse or a doctor or something like that. And you put in you close out a cycle and you start formulating some sort of like maybe a new workshop or something like that, or you start putting yourself out there as a healer. You start putting yourself, maybe you were going to school for nursing and you just graduate and you find yourself starting to work at the hospital, or you're about to start working in like a clinic or something. Maybe there was a career shift, right? Maybe you were working at a school before, and now you're like, you know, I really, really, really want to, you know, work in this other field. That can be another possibility. There could also be financial shifts that happen, so like a financial healing of some sort. Nonetheless, I see a lot of abundance and opportunities coming in for you, and I really like this energy. Sis got to return to developing before daylight leaves. I'm sorry, I'm not sure what your messages are, but moving forward here, Capricorn. So you have here, I just mentioned the Hermit, right? You actually have the Hermit card here, and this energy is happening in the 6th house, which is again the house of healing. So you might be feeling a little bit recluse at this time for this full moon, really wanting to focus on your healing journey. I know for me specifically, I'm navigating through a lot of healing. You know, for some of you that don't know, like I was in an accident earlier this year, and so my body is going through like major changes in that. And so finding yourself going into new healing modalities or techniques, or just doing some shadow work or some shadow integration, even finding yourself closing out that which is not, you know, what's not serving you at this time, Capricorn, and really getting into the nitty gritty of those resources within thyself. So going within, taking time to go within, maybe meditating more, maybe you're going to be channeling more, right? Maybe your DNA, you know, through meditation, you receive some DNA upgrades that are going to amplify how you receive messages, or even your spiritual abilities and whatnot, right? And so that's a way that this can happen. This could also be hormonal balances. This could also be some clearing of the psyche, so that you're gaining clarity moving forward. But I really do see a lot of energetic upgrades and healing at this time. So Capricorn, this is not about chasing and racing. This is about slow and steady wins the race for you. Pace yourself and trust in your inner resources here to be able to magnetically attract that to you here. You know, this could even be like, I said pets, but it's also animals. So like, maybe if some of you are healers and channelers or something like that, maybe you found that a certain situation occurred in your life, and like you wanted to start taking on some like studies or practices for helping heal animals, even, or even help others heal, whatever, like maybe a form of Reiki, or receiving some Reiki, or bringing something back in that space where maybe you lost some passion even, right? And so these are ways that this energy can manifest for you here, but it is a lot more hermit mode here. It is a lot more recluse in here, and it's really about reorganizing for you. So because Mercury is going to go direct later in the day, maybe it's about decluttering and clearing out certain things and reorganizing certain routines in your life, or creating a formula even, or you know, maybe reflecting on what hasn't worked for you and what is working for you, and then putting your focus on what is working for you, and releasing yourself of what is not working for you anymore. more. So Capricorn, that is your message. We're going to move forward to Aquarius. Aquarius, this energy is happening in your 5th house. This is for Aquarius, sun, moon, and rising. If you are just tapping into your sign, I invite you to go back to the beginning to listen to the overall message. And I do invite everybody, if you haven't already, checked out the Jupiter retrograde reading and listen for Gemini energy, as this full moon is happening in the sign of Gemini. Aquarius, this energy can be impactful to your children. This can be tapping into your inner child. There could have been some healing that needed to happen, right? What happened during June of 2024? What was activating for you at that time, and are you completing those cycles, right? This is also relationships. So, Aquarius, you might find yourself getting into like a new relationship. I do say be mindful of like any fling type of situations at this time, y'all, because the 5th house can be flings, but it could also be pregnancy. So maybe you find yourself like closing out a cycle of like, being a single woman into a relationship, or you find yourself, from being, fertile to being completely pregnant and fertile, right? And so whatever it is, there's going to be some sort of a closing out of a cycle. You could even be giving birth at this time, Aquarius. For some of you, are going to be giving birth. This is also putting yourself in the limelight, right? So maybe there was some sort of projects or some sort of like, maybe if you're in the entertainment, right? Maybe you were wanting to work on some sort of like podcast, and closing out the cycles of releasing those fears to put yourself out to be seen here, right? Allowing yourself to be connected with your social networks, be connected with your social medias, allow yourself to be connected to your creative endeavors here, and not over analyzing it logically, but actually allowing the creative flow to naturally flow through you. There's gonna be a lot of revelations. We do have Pluto in the sign of Aquarius here, so there's gonna be a lot that's gonna be, the revolution is gonna be televised with y'all here. There's gonna be a lot of collective secrets being revealed. There's gonna be a lot of coming to light of the changes, of the transformations for y'all. Y'all gonna be feeling this energy very intense for quite some time now. But nonetheless, and again, if you also haven't listened to the Pluto and Aquarius readings, I invite you to listen to that too. All right, going back to the 5th house though, to the 5th house, this could be that perhaps there's some sort of like gossip or something that happens, through social media, or a major shift or a change. Maybe you work on a certain platform that's closing out or something like that, and you're needing to pivot. You're needing to make some changes or something like that. This is going to be your opportunity for you to let those things go. Maybe you were dealing, some of you, also got the 5 of cups here. So there could have been some anxiety, some depression, maybe some abandonment issues that you needed to cut the cords, that you needed to heal from, right? Maybe that's coming from your inner child and realizing, wait a minute, I have the resources of air, I have the resources of water, I have the resources of earth, of fire, right, of spirit, even to do what it is that I came here to do. And you find yourself tapping back into your inner child's passion and finding some sort of harmony through inner child healing, right? And letting go of abandonment issues, but really allowing yourself, through letting go of those abandonment issues, you find yourself to detach from that which is no longer serving you, without feeling guilty or shameful or neglecting yourself, but in a way that's actually allowing you to like really thrive in your true authenticity and your energies. Like, yo, this is what I am. I don't give a F what people think about it. Like, this is me. And you find yourself like attracting those healthy, meaningful connections and people and relationships even that are truly aligned with who you truly are as a whole, right? This is not a like fake it till you make it energy. This is about being your true authentic self and allowing yourself to be liberated in that energy. And this has the potential of like meeting somebody that you get into a relationship with, or maybe even have children with, or something like that. Like, you're like, wow, you know, I really felt this alignment. I've been putting in this work. I'm allowing myself to be seen in my true divine light. And I'm magnetically attracting all that's in divine order for me, all that is healthy, meaningful connections, that's thriving in my life, allowing those energies to create the ripple of transformation, to close out the cycles that have been hindering you, the cycles that you know, were really just holding you back. This is also a change of mindsets or emotional, you know, finding yourself to be a little bit more at ease. So maybe you found some like healing modalities during Mercury retrograde or something like that to help you navigate through depression, to help you navigate through some anxieties or something like that. And you find yourself more at peace. This is something like, you know, maybe you regain confidence again or something along those lines, Aquarius. That energy is showing up for you here. And I really like, yeah, in the bottom of the deck, I didn't even share the bottom of the deck with any other zodiac signs, but I feel like y'all got the Queen of Cups here. And so really allowing your love frequency and creative endeavors. Like I said, if you're into music, do the music. If you're into dancing, flow into the dance. If you're a writer or you're, you know, whatever form of creativity, everything is a form of artistry, right? Life imitates art. So really allow yourself to thrive in that way. And that's essentially how you're going to be reactivating your inner child's passions and tapping into spirit, like completely with the, like, you know, the Holy Trinity, if you will, you know, the Holy Spirit within thyself, which is the inner child also, which is the elder of your soul's consciousness at the same time, right? With the feminine and masculine energies harmonizing together essentially. And that's what you actually get to be seen with, right? That's how the ways of the world get to see you. If you are a social media influencer or something like that, this could be some sort of like news or reveal. Maybe you were being a little bit like hermit mode, or you were falling back. Maybe you were a little bit in the shadows and you see yourself like wanting to put yourself out there. It could even be on the opposite side where like maybe you had just been like work, putting yourself out there on social media, and just maybe you're feeling a little bit burnt out and you're not feeling as creative and you're not feeling so tapped in, and you're just like, I'm fucking exhausted, because you've abandoned your ability to just pace yourself, to allow yourself to rest. And it's like, you know, you are invited to just take a moment and like rest from being seen by the world all the fucking time. Like, you will be seen when it's your time to be seen, because this is also the cold moon. So this is, you know, the winter season is about like hibernation also. It's about that rest period. And so if you're not feeling as creative, are you trying to control the narrative? Are you trying to be seen in a certain light that it's not? It's really actually hindering your creative process at this time. I would also check your like hormonal levels at this time, Aquarius, and get yourself like, you know, a massage or something like that. Really tap into like, what's your favorite music? What is your favorite thing to do? You know, tap into that type of energy here. If you are feeling depressive, if you're not feeling up to par, reach out to the people that you love. Watch some sort of like comedy or even like cartoons or something. Eat your childhood favorite snack. These are ways that you could allow yourself to reactivate that inner child passion within you, to to really allow for your creative channels to flow. All right, Aquarius, that is your energy. We are going to move forward to Pisces. Pisces, this energy is happening in your 4th house. This is for Pisces, sun, moon, or rising. If you're just tapping into your sign and you did not listen to the overall message, I'm going to invite you to listen to that. Pisces, with this energy in the 4th house, there could be major cycles that are closing out when it comes down to the home. Maybe you're making this is also the home. This is also your parents, specifically your mother. There could be a lot. Maybe you're changing locations. You're moving to a new place. This could be needing to rescind a contract. This in regards to your home. This is also inheritance. This could be needing to do some like healing when it comes, or reconciliation when it comes down to a mother or a parental figure in your life here. This could also be tapping into the cosmic mother here, or do some womb healing, whether you are a man or a woman. This energy here also could be renewing a contract, right? So like if you're leasing in a home or renting or something like that, right? Maybe you're having to renew your lease, right? So for some of you, this is going to be moving. For some of you, this is renewing your lease. The thing that I want you to pay attention to the most is what was going on June of 2024. Right, in your home foundation. And are those things complete? Have you found yourself completely satisfied in closing out those cycles that was no longer serving you, that was pertaining to your house, right? That was pertaining to real estate, that was pertaining to how you've been able to function when it comes down to whether your parents or your parental figures, right? For some of you here, y'all might be wanting to change your furniture around, or you may be getting rid of your furniture. Like, you know what, this furniture is carrying old energy. I just feel like it's time to start new, and you like let go of all your furniture and you bring in new furniture even. Y'all have the 8 of Cups here, and so the 8 of Cups is a very emotional release here. So some of you, this could even be that like maybe you find yourself, because Gemini is also connected to the child and communication, right? So you might find yourself, if you were living in your childhood neighborhood or living with a parent even, you might find yourself moving out. This is walking away from situations and circumstances that were not emotionally fulfilling to you, that were hindering you from your growth, from actually receiving the generational wealth and the generational happiness and liberation of the 10 of Cups, right? Because from the 8 of Cups comes the 9 of Cups, and the 9 of Cups is wishes being fulfilled. So there was something that was holding you back emotionally, that was hindering you, that was taking place at home. Maybe you were suffering in silence at home, while outside, you were showing a different side of you. And these are things that you're having to like let go. And so a lot of you are going to be moving, Pisces. You're going to be moving to a new location. You're, like I said, if it's furniture that's holding like old relationship energies, or just energies of the like depression, of anxiety, that's like insecurities, whatever it is, this is womb healing also. And I did mention womb healing for this energy too, whether you are male or female. Right? Because this is not about your gender. This is about reconnecting with the cosmic womb and the cosmic mother for this healing to occur. And this full moon is going to bring a lot of deep clarity and introspection and reflection for you to close out the cycles of whatever it is that you have to walk away from. The universe is going to make you walk away, or it's going to walk away from you, whether you like it or not, so that you can find that home is where the heart is. So going back into the heart space so that you're able to navigate and find a home in any house that you live in, and find that peace with yourself. So letting that go, letting go the places, the people, and the things that don't feel like home to you. Right? And letting go of any patterns that maybe, were passed down to you from like your mother, or like certain things. Maybe you always felt like you had to take care of somebody, or certain burdens, or whatever the case may be. This is about feeling home at feeling home within thyself wherever you go, and this may actually be changing your physical location here. This could also be closing out any disputes, anything that has to do with the mother, or even certain relationships at the home, and reconciling with yourself, and also rescinding whatever contracts you need to rescind from, and clear out that energetic debris, the energetic debt. Just clearing that energy out and gaining a lot of clarity so that you can step into the 9 of Cups, where your wishes begin to be fulfilled, and then the 10 of Cups, where it's generational wealth and it's in longevity, and you find the rainbow after the storm. So Pisces, y'all might actually be in the middle of the storm right now, or maybe you feel like the storm just ripped you away from your home. Some of you Pisces may, this energy maybe you were homeless and you're moving into a new home or something like that. Whatever it is, what cycle is closing out for you, so that you can step into this new cycle that is more beneficial to you. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you who tapped in live or during the replay. That is all 12 signs for this full moon in Gemini. And I really look forward to hearing the feedback from you all as to how this energy resonated with you, or if it didn't, right? Put down in the comments below. Don't forget to share, like, and follow. I love you all. May the spirit of the Most High, most divine and benevolence and truth and righteous and perfect love and perfect trust cover you with every breath, with every step of the way of your existence. I love you. I see you. May you be in wholeness and harmony. Ashe, Aho, Amen. Peace.